All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring something both exciting and maybe a little scary: rising alone and forging your own path. And to guide us, we're turning to a true master of resilience and self-belief, Oprah Winfrey.
Great choice.
We'll be unpacking one of her most powerful speeches, and I think you'll find it particularly relevant, especially with all the noise and conflicting expectations we face these days.
Absolutely.
Right from the start, Oprah grabs your attention.
Oh, yeah.
She says, there are moments in life when we realize that the path ahead is ours to walk, and only we can take those steps forward.
Really powerful, right?
It is. It really speaks to that universal feeling of being at a crossroads,
Yeah.
like knowing you have to make a choice,
Right.
even if it means going it alone.
Exactly. It's like realizing the crowd you've been following is heading the wrong way, and you've got to trust your gut and go your own way.
For sure.
But that whole rising alone thing, it can be pretty terrifying, can't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It goes against that natural instinct to seek safety in numbers. Right. And that's what makes Oprah's message so interesting.
How so?
She doesn't shy away from those fears.
No.
Instead, she reframes rising alone, not as isolation, but as a declaration of independence.
I like that.
She says it's about recognizing that your inner strength is far greater than any external validation.
Powerful stuff.
So it's not about physically being alone,
Right.
but more about cultivating that inner strength,
Yeah.
that self-reliance that lets you make decisions based on your own values.
Yes, exactly.
Not on what everyone else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So then how do we actually tap into that inner strength, that self-reliance? It's easy to say, trust yourself, but what does that look like in practice?
Oprah actually highlights this amazing paradox.
Okay.
She says solitude, which we often link with loneliness and fear, can actually be the key to unlocking clarity and self-discovery.
Interesting.
She talks about shedding distractions to get to the core of our dreams and goals,
Okay.
and how that allows us to hear our own inner voice more clearly. So it's like stepping away from all the outside noise and opinions
Yeah.
and creating space for that inner voice to emerge.
Exactly.
But how does that translate into making better decisions or even just feeling less overwhelmed?
Okay, imagine this.
Okay.
You're trying to make a big decision.
Uh-huh.
Your mind's racing with doubts and anxieties and what-ifs.
Yeah, I've been there.
Now, imagine stepping into a quiet space.
Okay.
Maybe going for a walk in nature or finding a peaceful corner at home
Yeah.
and just allowing yourself to be present with your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
You're creating a space for your inner wisdom to surface.
Precisely.
Got it.
And in that space of solitude,
Yeah.
you might start noticing patterns in your thinking.
Okay.
Maybe recognizing that some of your fears are based on limiting beliefs you've carried for years.
Interesting.
Or you might discover a deep-seated desire you've been ignoring
Uh-huh.
because it didn't fit with what you thought you should be doing.
That makes sense.
That's where the clarity comes in.
Right. You see things more objectively, less clouded by external pressures.
Yeah.
So solitude isn't just about being alone.
No,
It's about cultivating that connection with your inner self,
it is.
which then empowers you to make choices aligned with your values and aspirations.
Absolutely.
It's like Oprah saying the greatest journey is the journey inward.
Yes.
That's where the real adventure begins.
I love that. That journey inward, Oprah really nails it. It's paved with self-reliance.
Okay.
It's about shifting from, I need someone else to I can figure this out myself.
Yeah, I love that. It's like trading that shaky ladder you've been leaning on
Right.
for a sturdy staircase you built yourself.
Exactly.
But where do you even begin with building that self-reliance?
Right.
It can feel overwhelming, especially if you're used to relying on others.
Well, one surprisingly practical way to cultivate self-reliance
Yeah.
is through setting boundaries.
Boundaries, okay.
Think of it as creating a healthy space around yourself, where you define what you'll tolerate and what you won't.
So saying no more often.
Exactly.
But isn't that kind of going against the grain? Especially when we're told to be agreeable.
Here's the thing. Saying no to things that drain you
Yeah.
or don't align with your values,
Yeah.
it actually frees up space for what truly matters.
Okay.
It's about prioritizing your well-being and making choices that support your growth.
Not constantly trying to please others, and that takes courage, right?
It is.
To stand firm in your no, even when facing pushback.
Absolutely. And that's where Oprah's emphasis on accountability comes in.
Accountability, okay.
She says, accountability empowers us because it shifts the focus from external circumstances
Yeah.
to our own potential to affect change.
So when you take ownership of your choices,
Yeah.
you're not at the mercy of external forces anymore.
Right.
You become the architect of your own life.
I like that analogy a lot.
It's like taking back the reins instead of letting someone else steer you off course. But what does accountability actually look like day to day?
Okay, think about a time you made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Maybe missed a deadline or said something you regretted.
Mm-hmm.
Did you blame external circumstances?
Okay.
Or did you own up to your role and look for ways to learn?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's so much easier to blame someone else.
It is.
Yeah.
But blaming others keeps you stuck,
Stuck. Okay.
while taking ownership empowers you to learn, grow, and make better choices.
So it's about recognizing that even mistakes can be valuable.
Exactly.
Okay, so self-reliance isn't about being perfect.
No.
It's about being accountable for our actions.
Even the messy ones.
Right, and using those experiences to grow.
Precisely. And another way to build self-reliance is by cultivating new skills.
New skills, like what?
Anything. Think of something you've always wanted to learn.
Okay.
Playing an instrument, speaking a language, even fixing something around the house.
It's like leveling up in a video game.
Exactly. And every time you face a challenge and overcome it, using your own resourcefulness, your self-belief grows stronger.
So it's not just about the practical benefits of the skill.
No.
It's about the confidence that comes from knowing you can figure things out.
And that confidence spills over into other areas.
Okay.
You approach challenges more positively.
Yeah.
You're less likely to back down when things get tough.
You start to embody that unshakable self-belief Oprah talks about.
Yes, that unwavering trust in your own abilities.
Speaking of unshakable self-belief, it's a powerful concept, but it can feel elusive.
It can.
It's easy to say, believe in yourself.
Right.
But what if you've got a history of self-doubt?
Or you've been told you're not good enough.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes crucial to challenge those negative voices.
Both internal and external.
Exactly. Oprah suggests starting by focusing on your strengths.
Okay.
Take a moment to reflect on your accomplishments.
Big or small?
Yes. And acknowledge the qualities that make you unique.
It's like making a list of all your superpowers.
Exactly.
But what if you've got a critic in your life? Someone who constantly undermines your confidence. Or tells you can't do something.
Remember that boundary setting we talked about?
Yeah.
That comes into play here too.
Okay.
You have the right to protect your energy and self-belief.
So sometimes that means limiting contact with negative people.
It's not about being rude.
No.
It's about creating healthy boundaries that allow you to flourish.
So what about that inner critic?
The one whispering doubts.
Yeah.
Oprah encourages us to treat that inner critic with compassion.
Not judgment.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Acknowledge those negative thoughts, but don't let them define you.
Oh.
Imagine you're talking to a friend who's feeling insecure.
Yeah.
Would you berate them or offer encouragement?
Encouragement, of course.
So extend that same kindness to yourself.
Even when we're feeling doubtful.
Yes. And one practical way to counter those negative thoughts is by focusing on evidence.
Evidence.
What are the facts?
Okay.
What have you achieved in the past that shows your capabilities?
So grounding yourself in reality.
Right.
To chip away at those limiting beliefs.
Exactly.
It's like building a case for your own awesomeness.
I love it. And as that self-belief grows, you're better equipped to face the challenges of building your own path.
Which is another key theme Oprah explores.
When Oprah talks about building your path, she's not just talking about external success or reaching a destination.
Okay.
It's about creating a life that feels authentic and meaningful to you.
Even if it looks different from what's expected.
Exactly.
So it's about ditching the map everyone else is following.
And charting your own course.
Even if it means going into uncharted territory.
Precisely. And that takes courage.
It does.
To step away from the familiar, the comfortable, and embrace the uncertainty of forging your own way.
It's like leaving the well-worn tourist path.
Yes.
And venturing into the wild parts of the forest, where there might be obstacles.
But also breathtaking beauty.
And unexpected discoveries.
And that's where those skills we've been cultivating come in.
Okay.
Self-reliance, accountability, unshakable self-belief.
Yeah.
They become your compass and provisions.
As you navigate the uncharted territory of building your own path.
Exactly.
But it can be daunting, can it? To just throw out the map and venture into the unknown?
It can be, yeah.
What if you get lost or end up somewhere you don't want to be?
That's a real concern. And Oprah doesn't pretend it's easy.
Right.
She says leaving behind the comfort of what's familiar can be the scariest part.
So how do you deal with that fear?
Yeah.
How do you find the courage to keep going when you're not even sure where you're headed.
This is where her idea of rejecting validation gets really powerful.
Okay.
She says, true freedom comes not from seeking approval from others, but from trusting your own inner compass, even when it leads you off the beaten path.
It's like saying, hey, inner critic, I hear you, but I'm following my heart anyway.
Exactly.
But what if your heart leads you in a direction that others don't get, or they don't approve of?
That's the real test, isn't it? To stand firm even when you face doubt or criticism.
Or even rejection.
Oprah says, rejecting validation is a form of self-respect. It's about honoring your own truth, even when it's unconventional.
It's like saying, my worth isn't determined by your opinion of me.
Yeah.
I define my own value.
Exactly.
But how do you actually do that? Break free from that need for approval.
It starts with awareness.
Okay.
Becoming aware of how you seek validation.
Like how?
Do you constantly need praise? Do you change your behavior to fit in?
Okay.
Once you see those patterns, you can start to challenge them.
So it's about noticing when you're about to give your power away.
Yeah.
And consciously choosing to take it back.
It might feel uncomfortable at first,
right?
Especially if you spent years seeking approval. But as you practice setting boundaries and honoring your own needs and desires, you'll start to feel a sense of liberation.
That's really powerful.
It's transformative.
And that empowerment helps you build your own path, right?
Absolutely. Because you're not waiting for permission anymore.
Yeah.
You're creating your own map based on your own values.
Precisely. And remember, building your path isn't about reaching some big destination.
It's not a race.
Right? It's about embracing the journey itself.
With all the twists and turns.
The ups and downs.
It's about enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Knowing that each step, even the missteps, is a chance to learn.
And grow.
And evolve.
It's about trusting that even when you feel lost, your inner compass is guiding you.
Toward a life that's authentic and meaningful.
That's the beauty of what Oprah's saying, isn't it?
It really is.
She reminds us that we have everything we need to create a life we love.
A life that reflects our unique talents and purpose.
It's about embracing our individuality, trusting our intuition.
And having the courage to forge our own path, even when it means rising alone.
And remember, even though the path may be yours alone to walk, you don't have to walk it in isolation.
Find your tribe, your community of support.
You're rising alone, but you're never truly alone.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Oprah's wisdom, we want to leave you with this. What's one small step you can take today to honor your own truth?
To trust your inner compass.
And start building a path that feels authentic and meaningful to you.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Trust yourself, embrace your power,
and create the life you were meant to live.